Welcome to Voices of Town and College Toastmasters podcast. Hello everybody, I'm Denise Moriyama. We are here to share stories, challenges, and successes of our beloved clubbing. Our purpose is to inspire you to join Toastmasters. In this episode, Alta Byg is our guest. With her extensive experience and deep commitment to the Toastmasters values, Alta has a unique ability to inspire all of us. Hi, Alta. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to have you here to share your stories with us.
Hello, Denise. Thank you so much for asking me to take part in this project.
Alta, I believe you first joined Toastmasters to support Jerry, but then you became a speaker yourself. How did that transition happen? Was there a specific moment you realized you loved it too?
Yes, Jerry was told by his employer that he needed to improve his communication skills or to look for a different job.
Oh, wow.
Jerry is very quiet, shy, and talking to other people has always been a challenge for him. I noticed that there was a picture of my supervisor in the newspaper. She had just been installed as an officer for the Town and College Toastmasters Club. I had not heard of Toastmasters before and asked her about the club. The club sounded like it was just the thing that Jerry needed.
I can imagine.
I came along to the first meeting with Jerry to add moral support, and I really enjoyed myself. My job at the time was with an insurance company, paying claims, answering the phone, and answering people's questions about their claims. I did not have to give presentations for my job. Therefore, I never would need Toastmasters.
Right.
As a guest, the table topics master asked me if I would like to answer a question. The first time I answered a table topics question, I spoke for less than a minute and had over 35 vocalized pauses.
No way.
After 6 months of attending as a guest, a longtime member, Don Roberts, finally said, "Don't you think it's about time that you joined?" And I did. I cannot say that I love Toastmasters. I still get butterflies every time I have to give a speech.
Is that so?
I have to overcome that nervousness before each presentation. What I do love about Toastmasters is the fact that I now have the confidence to get up in front of a group of people and I can give a presentation.
That's beautiful.
Toastmasters has given me that self-confidence to take on a leadership role in Toastmasters, but it also given me the confidence to offer to give presentations at work. I have gone from being a very introverted person to taking on the challenge of giving an impromptu speech with only a moment's notice.
It's amazing how a simple act of support for Jerry and a little push from Don Robert changed everything for you. Alta, you have been a Toastmasters for many years. Looking back, what is the biggest difference between the speaker you were on your first day and the speaker you are today?
I have been a Toastmaster since 1998. You will have to do the math. I will just say I must have been very, very young when I started. I like to tell the story about the first time I was interviewed for an the evening news. We had just come out of the Civic Center after seeing the musical Les Miserables. The reporter asked what I thought of the musical. I can only tell you that I must have sounded like a complete airhead. All I could say was that it was wonderful, very wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and so on. I prayed all the way home that my interview would be cut from the news feed. And thank heavens it was. That was BT, before Toastmasters. Several years of Toastmasters and many speeches later, while we were in Russia, we were eating at a Russian fast food restaurant. A German reporter came up to us and asked us why we, as Americans, were eating in a Russian restaurant instead of eating at McDonald's.
Really?
I was not afraid or nervous. And I was able to say, when we travel, we like to experience the food and culture of the country we are visiting.
Of course.
We can always eat McDonald's at home, but we cannot always eat Russian food there. I would have loved to have seen that interview online. Although we were in Russia and we did not have access to the German news. That was AT, or after Toastmasters. My first experience of being interviewed was horrifying. And the second one, I felt calm, collected, and very comfortable. Does that mean that I do not get nervous? Absolutely not. I still get nervous, but I'm not afraid or embarrassed as I was at the first interview. My Toastmaster journey is still a work in progress. I still have several goals that I want to become better at. One goal that I still would like to achieve is to be able to give an impromptu 5 to 7 minute speech. At this time, I still have to prepare well in advance, write my speech out, and then I still use notes. This is one goal that I would like to become better at. Another area I want to work on is encourage audience interaction in my speeches. Being able to ask the audience questions, wait for the reply, and then incorporate their feedback into my speech. When I can do that, I feel I will be a more natural speaker.
I love that you call your journey a work in progress, Alta. That shows the true spirit of a great speaker. Your interview in Russia sounds like it was absolutely flawless. Since you have been growing here for so long alongside your husband, you and Jerry are both in the club. How has Toastmasters changed the way you communicate with each other?
Jerry is a very shy, quiet person. We have had more arguments about not talking than most people have had about anything else. When we were first married, I mentioned something to Jerry's secretary about the fact that Jerry would not talk to me. She said there are several things that you need to do to get your husband to talk to you. First, get several books. Second, sit on the floor cross-legged in the middle of the room. Third, balance those books on the top of your head. And fourth, start flicking your lip with your finger, making blub blub sounds. Bling, 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 bling. She said they will start talking to you right away. I have used this method several times to get Jerry to talk to me. Communication is the most difficult challenge.
I agree.
It is even more difficult in marriage. One area where Toastmasters has helped me is by improving my listening skills. Most people do not listen to other people. They are just waiting for an opening to be able to step in and get their turn to speak. Being able to truly listen to another person is a real gift.
Awesome! Realizing that communication is more about listening than speaking is a huge milestone.
Do we have it perfected? Absolutely not. Listening is one area that is still a work in progress in my family. Both my husband and my son try to finish my sentences for me. If I allow too much of a pause in my thoughts, they jump in and try to finish my sentence. I am notorious for making them guess what my next thought was going to be when they do that.
Wow!
I feel that I have become more patient in my communication with other people. I feel that I think before I speak. If I'm unsure what they are saying, I try to rephrase their statement to get clarity. Toastmasters has been significant in my growth in this area. Denise, has Toastmasters changed the way you interact with others?
I've never stopped to think about it, Alta. However, I remember I recently had a business meeting in English with a doctor. I was truly amazed because I not only perfectly understood him, but he understood me too. I also have a Chinese classmate. I feel that I have much more fluency and flow when I'm speaking with her. Even in my personal life, my husband is a TikToker. Sometimes I help him with some of his posts. His followers actually told me that I should give conversation lessons because they said that I speak very well. In this case, in my first language, Portuguese. Anyway, I strongly believe that Toastmasters has helped me a lot in all of these interactions.
Wow, Denise, it sounds like you may have a backup plan for your work. It is never a bad idea to have additional options. I remember I was so surprised when I was able to answer a question that somebody had asked me at work, and I felt like I handled it accurately and with confidence. What an ego boost that was.
Amazing! Going back to your story, Alta, with your years of experience in the club, what is the most important lesson you've learned that keeps you motivated to continue growing as a speaker?
A previous longtime member of Toastmasters said that he came to learn and stayed to teach.
That's powerful.
He had been in Toastmasters for more than 50 years. I have a ways to go to reach that milestone. I enjoy watching our new members grow, watching them from the first nervous speech to seeing them flourish and bloom in their Toastmasters journey. One person who was such a wonder is Zori. I heard a couple of her first speeches, then was absent for several months. When I heard her next speech after returning, I was totally amazed by her progress.
Incredible.
She has become a very confident and engaging speaker. Our club has been very lucky to be based in Iowa State campus and has been blessed by having many students from all over the world join our club. Each meeting can be like traveling around the world.
Yeah, exactly.
I enjoy hearing speeches from these students, especially those who talk about growing up in their home country, about their families, and about their school years. Each person is unique, and I enjoy hearing about them. I've also learned about subjects from which I have had no previous knowledge. The members of our clubs have a diverse range of professions and interests. I have been able to learn about Willie's Jeeps from one member, walk with an electrical engineer as they climb the tower of a wind turbine with another, and graphic arts and freelance design from a third. When I am preparing some of my own speeches, I have researched subjects from what we can do to help monarch butterflies increase their habitat. I have increased my knowledge about recycling and reducing plastic usage, as well as what we can do to improve our balance. I learned something new at each meeting, and that is what keeps me coming back to Toastmasters.
Amazing! Learning from others and watching members grow, like Zori, is truly the best part of the club. I love how you highlighted our diversity, from wind turbines to graphic arts. Thank you so much for your time and wisdom today. Do you have any final message for our audience?
Thank you, Denise, for including me in this project. It brought back many memories and made me think about the benefits, all of the benefits that Toastmasters have provided to me.
Thank you, Alta. And to our listeners, I hope Alta's insights give you some extra motivation for your daily life. Thank you for listening to Voices of Town and College Toastmasters podcast. I'm your host, Denise Moriyama, and I'll see you at the next meeting. Keep speaking and keep growing. Bye-bye.